In Mexico, there are 1.7 million rural families that do not have access to pipe water. Instead, they use open-air sources such as this well, springs, and water holes, the majority of which have high fecal contamination and turbidity. The health consequences are serious, especially for children. They suffer from very high concentrations of intestinal parasites, which prevents their physical and school development and perpetuates the intergenerational transmission of poverty.
Okay, so please welcome Flor Cassassuce. Yes, before you clap, you should know where she's standing. There you go.
Hi everyone, my name is Flor Cassassuce and I am the director, founder and inventor of EOZ and the campaign 100% Clean Water for Mexico. In the rural parts of our country, we have 1.7 million households that do not have pipe water. Instead, they use wells, springs, rivers, or rainwater systems to get their water. We have sampled more than 611 of those sources and found that 91% have high particle or sediment content, that is called turbidity, and 61% have fecal contamination. You can see on those two images, two types of water sources. On the bottom left, it's a rainwater system from Jalisco, and on the right, a community water hole that is fed by a spring in Chiapas. That is their only water source. The health consequences are very serious, and especially for children. The bacteria, the parasites, and the virus in the water, they cause diarrhea, anemia, protein deficiency, and more serious, the chronic malnutrition, which is the one that prevents their proper physical and school development. There could be a Einstein in these communities, but they have so many microorganisms that prevents their development that we will never know if they develop into that. And so not only that, the pain, but also the transmission of poverty from one generation to the next because of all those contaminants. Our invention is a unique water purifier, the sum of a microfilter and an ultraviolet faucet. It's the first one in the world. We invented this ultraviolet water disinfection because it purifies water at the very instant and at the exit. We saw that if people had other filters and they accumulated their water in a bucket or in any storage system, the environment, the homes were so contaminated, even in the air, in the dust, that the water didn't remain clean for very long. So we engineered a system that can fit on any container, so the container is not a limitation, and it is made to make any water crystalline and sterile. Even very turbid or clay water or brown water becomes transparent and sterile with our system. And the last feature is that it is adaptable to both the urban and rural context, which is why we have a special economic model for this project. We have won awards from the World Bank, CNN Hero, and last was Iniciativa México from Televisa in Mexico. Our impact so far, we have reached almost 10,000 rural households. That is more than 50,000 persons that now have clean water in their homes. And we have measured for the first time in 2013 a decrease in parasitism in children, which is our key measure of impact. And so from 88% children that had parasite, we are now at 33% after 6 months of installing our water purifier in children under 5, and they receive both our water purifier and the general training in water, hygiene, and health. Our economic model is inspired by Mohamed Yunus, the Nobel Peace Prize. We believe in being a social company with two sides. One side is our for-profit corporation called EOZ that is in charge of fabricating and selling commercially the water purifier. And the other side is the non-profit organization, Institute EOZ, which is in charge of the subsidized rural distribution in Mexico. Now, how do we plan on increasing the commercial sales, which so far has been our major challenge? We are good in rural areas, we are not so good in urban areas to distribute and sell our product. We plan in 2014, next year, in launching a more luxurious line of products in stainless steel. That is a water fountain, a personal filter bottle, and also a faucet mount filter. And those products would be sold in more traditional national store chains, drugstores or department stores, and we will need a lot of help from consultants to achieve that type of urban distribution. We also plan on a slightly different line that is very close to our heart to have a Mexican crafted line of water purifiers. We're currently working with women that you can see on this image at the bottom that are craft women, artisans, that are making this clay pot, this traditional clay pot for water. And because our technology is installable on diversity of containers, we would like to have a line of products that are typically Mexican and crafted by rural communities so that they also generate income from our project. We think of the black pottery from Oaxaca that could be a container, the typical talavera, the ceramic, the pottery, and the crystal, probably the blown glass containers. We will need the help of designers because we would like to have a better quality and style, and also to improve the single image or brand line of product. What is our scaling plan? From our current sales volume of 10,000, we plan on increasing sales by 10,000 units every year for the next 10 years. And that will allow us to expand from 5 to 50 rural county technicians, each one in charge of 1,000 to 5,000 families in 5 years. And that means we could reach 250,000 persons to 1 million persons after 15 years of this work. The proposed use of funds in case we'd win. We would need to use $20,000 on a professional product designer to improve all these products that I'm telling you, especially the more crafted products. And the rest of the fund would go to a marketing and advertisement campaign. That is what we're missing the most right now. And why would you choose us, or how do we differentiate? We really work with the families that most need it, the most isolated families. We measure our impact very scientifically, very rigorously in every family that we work with. And we created this economic model that has this subsidy between urban and rural areas to achieve a bigger impact. And on behalf of the 45,000 rural community members and the 36,000 children that we have helped so far, we want to thank you very much for your attention and your support.
Thank you very much. Flor, I'm curious, with a project like this, it's obviously something that has a very significant and ready impact, but can you identify any systemic problems that maybe it's outside the purview of your organization to fix, but that you think need to be addressed in order to provide cleaner water to these families?
Yeah. You know, water is always seems to be like a government task, or that's what people would think. But we know that before those communities would ever reach a point where they can have pipe water, for instance, it's many, many years that will go by. And a little bit like Guadalupe's presentation before me, we also believe that isolated community have a diversity of knowledge that is so important to our world. Seeds, medicinal plants, recipes that we don't know in the cities. So we also like the fact that they're isolated because they have a lot of the essence of our culture in every country. So in a way, finding local, small-scale solution for isolated communities in terms of water, energy, recycling is also part of what we think is important for the future of the world.
So rather than looking for a government-oriented solution, you're saying that those locally distributed solutions can be more custom fit to those communities.
Exactly.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Flor.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.